Hey beautiful people, my name is Antoinette and welcome to episode 3 of my vlog series. I'm actually really excited because I just came in from being outside with my kids and my husband, and my daughter was riding her bike without training wheels. Very, very proud of her. We've been working with both of our kids on trying to get them to get creative about entertaining themselves and finding things to do right now while things are kind of on a hiatus and we're socially distancing and can't really go anywhere. There is some virtual instruction that's supposed to start this upcoming week, I believe, and so she's gonna be able to log on and see some lessons through the portal that her school has set up, so that'll be good. But I know my husband also had her working on some foreign language stuff earlier this morning, which is awesome. So yeah, just try to make the most of sitting still. If you've got little ones at home, let me know what it is that you're doing to keep them entertained. Also keep some of the educational stuff going. Is their school offering materials and things like that? I'd love to hear about it because I'm just curious to know what other people are doing. And on a similar note, I recently completed coursework for my business coaching certification, which I'm really excited about. That was one of my goals for 2020, so I'm really glad that I can cross that off the list still. I've also been working a lot in my garden. You know, it's funny, I really didn't care that much about the garden. I mean, I liked it, it was cool, but I wasn't the one putting the majority of the effort in before. I would do some repotting, some watering, some planting of seeds, but my husband for the most part was the really consistent one. But now that COVID-19 is here, I'm just like, I really want fresh peaches, so let me help you water that, honey. Let's figure out what fertilizer works best for the blueberries, honey. So in that way, it's become a really fun activity for me to get into, to have a new hobby to focus my time on. It also gives me and my husband a chance to work on something together, and then we can also include the kids in that, and everybody's outside getting fresh air, sunshine. It's working out for us really nicely. In terms of how the rest of the world is doing right now, I think that people are sitting in different spots of adjustment to this whole social distancing thing. There are some people who are doing it and they are compliant and they're happy to be compliant. There are people who are doing it and they're compliant, but they really don't like being compliant. There are people who are not doing it whatsoever because they just don't understand the severity of this. And then there are some people who are just out here blowing the whole thing off because they just don't care. Like, they've been told that it's serious, but they just don't care. Me, I fall into the first group. We're just socially distancing, keeping things really low key and staying away from people and doing what the government says. And the biggest thing with that is that I just don't want it coming down to harsh restrictions that make it so that I can't even go outside of my house. Like, I can't even run around the block. I don't want that, but they're closing beaches, they're closing parks, they're closing a lot of these places because lots of people are flocking to them right now, and that only makes the severity of the orders worse. As of today, I know that there's a few epicenters that are emerging through this whole pandemic here in the United States. New York. My heart goes out to all New Yorkers right now. I have no idea what you're even looking at right now. But stay safe, follow the orders, make sure that you're taking care of yourself. Also, New Orleans, which that's not a huge surprise because Mardi Gras happened right as this whole, I think Mardi Gras was like the 3rd week of February or something, and then things really just got out of hand after that. There is a shelter-in-place order in many states, including my home state, which is California. I live in Florida currently, and we have a shelter-in-place order, but the governor is allowing certain businesses to continue to operate as long as they follow the protocols. So no more than 10 people congregating in one place at a time, very little contact with customers if you are exchanging goods and things like that. Overall, I would say that one's ability to adjust to what social distancing is making us do is also a measure of one's ability to choose happiness rather than waiting for happiness to choose them. Because the situation's terrible, but it's terrible for everybody. The degrees of terrible, those vary, but everyone is feeling some sort of a crunch or inconvenience or discomfort due to this pandemic. So I know that it's hard to stay inside all day and do this whole social distancing thing where you're only going out for essential items. And that's why I think this is a good time to remind yourself of all of the things that you're grateful for. Social distancing is causing us to connect with each other in ways that we hadn't done previously. We've always had Skype, we've always had Zoom, FaceTime, other comparable apps, but I don't know if we were always using those with the same type of intention that we're using them now. Now we are using technology to reach out to people to tell them, hey, I really love you and I miss you and I can't wait until we can see each other again. Great emotions, and they're not new emotions. People have felt those types of emotions for centuries now, but it seems like people are expressing it out loud more these days, and that's a really beautiful thing, and I'm grateful for that. I've also been reflecting on past trips that I've taken. Specifically this year, I actually went to Austin, Texas for a girls' trip early in January and went with my best friend, and she and I have both remarked at least 5 times since this whole thing started, I am so glad that we took that trip when we did. I'm so glad that I got to see her. I have no idea what's gonna happen with travel, when we're going to be able to come out of hiding, so to speak. So God and the universe knew, because I got to have one last hurrah with my bestie before everything started changing. And I'm sure that you probably have some great memories you can reflect on too. We'll get back to the fun stuff eventually, but right now it's a period of adjustment. And unfortunately, no one can really tell just how uncomfortable or inconvenient that's gonna be, or for how long. So I suggest staying rooted in the good space so that your head is somewhere positive and you can at least be easy on yourself mentally at a time when things are very stressful, very anxiety-inducing and stress-inducing. There were things that I used to take for granted, such as going to the grocery store. That has become a whole new experience for me now. It's become a whole new experience for the family now. But we picked up a grocery order like about a week ago, and we were just so grateful that there was someone putting groceries in our car.
Hi.
We are so grateful for groceries.
Are you? Good.
Yes.
We're grateful for you.
Oh, thank you. So I'm sure that if you sat down, even if just for a couple of minutes, to think about all the things that you are thankful and grateful for, you could probably think of quite a few, and it would put a smile on your face. Feel free to reach out to me. You've got my contact info that's popping up on your screen right now. I absolutely love to hear from you. Tell me how you're spending this period of time. I would love to hear about it. Thanks so much for watching me, and keep shining.